What is up, Raider Nation, and welcome to the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube, hosted by a Samoan. And today, I'm going to be previewing our Las Vegas Raiders versus the INDY Colts. Now, I understand that last week nearly gave us a heart attack because we almost lost to the winless Jets, but at the end of the day, we came away with the W and we're sitting pretty at 7-5. Now, I know we are knocking at the door of the playoffs, and the team standing in our way is these ugly ass Colts.
I'm a joking!
But I gotta give it to them. They are a really underrated team this year, so we gotta go and we gotta handle business. It's must win, baby. But before I get started with this pregame preview, I gotta give a huge shout out to the sponsors of this video, the Flick app. If you are a Raider fan looking for a community of Raider fans just chatting it up during the game, after the game, and even before the game, then this is the app for you. Download the Flick app. The link will be down in the description below, just to let you know. All right, Raider Nation, with all that selling out the way, let's get started with your pregame preview.
And you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Now, before I get started with this pregame preview, I got some quick Nation news that you can use. Raiders signed defensive tackle Lee Autry to the practice squad. Raiders also released wide receiver Marcel Aitman from the practice squad. Daryl Worley's signing is official, but won't make his debut until week 15 versus the Chargers due to COVID protocols. Trent Brown was a full participant at practice and isn't listed on the injury report. Josh Jacobs also returned to practice, and according to Vic Tafur, Josh Jacobs, Trent Brown, and Jonathan Abram are all expected to play this week versus the Colts, barring any setbacks, of course, fingers crossed. But we all know that big boss baby Trent will find a way to be out this week anyways.
I'm a joking!
And Darren Waller got himself a new chain for balling out against the Jets, Jets. Speaking of chains, let's talk about the #1 chain snatcher. No, not that bum. I'm talking about Debo. Gotta give some respect to Tommy Tiny Lester, aka Debo from Friday, who passed on Thursday at the age of 62. Condolences to his family and friends. He will be missed. Alright, with all that Nation news out the way, let's get started with your pregame preview. Now, this Sunday, we return to Sin City as our 7-5 Las Vegas Raiders go head-to-head against the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts. After coming away with a last-second victory against the winless Jets, our Raiders set their eyes on the Colts, another team that is fighting to stay in the playoff picture. The Raiders will need to clean up a lot of things if they want to compete in this game, because the Colts defense is one of the best defenses in the league, led by guys like DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, and former Raiders defensive tackle Danico Autry, just to name a few. This defense recorded 5 sacks, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble in last week's matchup versus the Texans, and also kept Deshaun Watson in check with no passing touchdowns. On the offensive side, the Raiders should be familiar with the Colts starting QB, Phillip Rivers, who threw for 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. Though he might not be the same quarterback he once was, this Colts offense seems to be built the same way as it was in LA. From an underrated wide receiver in T.Y. Hilton to a solid backfield duo and Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. The only upgrade in this offense would be the Colts offensive line. Other than that, the Raiders know that putting pressure on Rivers is key. Good thing Cleveland Farrell returned to action last week, causing 2 sacks and 2 fumbles. The Raiders defense could definitely use that this week. Derek Carr had himself a game last week, throwing for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And Waller balled out as well with 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. But that was barely enough to hold off the Jets. They will need to replicate that performance and more this week versus the Colts, but it won't be easy against their savvy defense. It was nice to see Henry Ruggs finally get involved a bit more last week. He even found himself in the end zone for the first time since week 5 versus the Chiefs. The Raiders will need to utilize him more, and hopefully with the offense getting Josh Jacobs back, they can hit the ground running and come away with a W against the Colts. Anything less is unacceptable. I know I say just win, baby, every week, but this week is a bit different. You replace the just with the must, because this week it's must win, baby.
Round 1. Fight!
Now it's time for your matchup of the week. This week, I have Darren Waller versus the Colts defense. Now, it's no secret that Derek Carr's favorite weapon on offense is Darren Waller. He was the Snickers' most hungriest player of the week after recording 13 receptions for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, becoming the 4th tight end to ever have at least 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the same game. Waller ranks 2nd amongst tight ends in yards, only behind Travis Kelce. He is one of the main reasons the Raiders' offense was able to move against the Jets, but it was barely enough to get the win. This Sunday will be a different story as the Raiders will face the Colts defense, who ranks 5th in the league in yards allowed by a tight end. They have not allowed a 100-yard tight end this whole season, but after the performance that Darren Waller was able to show last week, we'll see if the Colts have enough to slow down DC's #1 target. This could be a matchup that could determine who wins and who loses. If our Las Vegas Raiders want to stay in the playoff race and insert themselves in the wildcard picture, they will have to find a way to utilize Darren Waller this week, even against a tough matchup.
I got the keys now.
Now for your 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, convert on third downs. Now the Colts do struggle on third downs. They rank 15th in the league. And the Raiders last week against the Jets struggled on third downs. They only converted 6 out of 14 tries. Now that's not good enough to win games like this. And going into this week's game, they have to go out there and convert and move the chains. They need to keep drives going and take advantage of this Colts defense. Now one of the keys to that is running the ball well on first and second downs. Now it's great that we might be having Josh Jacobs back in this game, because that helps out our offense. On first and second downs, if we can run the ball successfully, then we set ourselves up for third and short situations, and we can still run the ball down their throats on a third and short, or we can draw up a play action play that can set up a huge play for us on third downs, whether it could be a huge play down the field or it could be just enough to get the first down. Third downs are real crucial in this game. Key number 2, put pressure on Phillip Rivers. Now we all know as Raider fans, Phillip Rivers from his time with the LA Chargers, and we know the main thing is putting pressure on him because that leads to turnovers, and the Raiders could definitely use some turnovers, especially against this Colts team that we're trying to beat so we could be in the playoffs. Now a guy that I know could have a big game this week is Eric Harris. That is probably Phillip Rivers' worst nightmare. We all remember last year's game on Thursday Night Football where Eric Harris had 2 interceptions. Now I understand that this is a different team and Phillip Rivers has a better offensive line in front of him. Even though that their offensive line is shaking up, it's a much better offensive line than it was in LA. So that means our defensive line has got to step up in this game. Cleveland Farrell, who returned last week and had 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, should step up and help out this defensive line. Hopefully we can see that NASCAR package out there this Sunday against the Colts, because we definitely need to put some pressure on Phillip Rivers. Key number 3, be on the same page. Now last week Derek Carr struggled to be on the same page with his receivers, especially Nelson Aguilar. There was some huge key plays where he overthrew and underthrew Nelson Aguilar. A crucial 4th down at the end of the game for us to take the lead and hopefully end the game. Derek Carr underthrew Nelson Aguilar in the end zone, which was frustrating. And there was another play at the end of the game where Derek Carr had Nelson Aguilar wide open and he missed him. He overthrew him in the end zone. And a lot of us as Raider fans and the Raider Nation was really pissed off. Luckily enough, Derek Carr was able to redeem himself and find Henry Ruggs on the last play to win the game eventually. But in this game against the Colts pass defense, who is one of the best in the league, we have got to be on the same page out there, because if DC and his receivers cannot be on the same page, it's gonna be a long day for this team and for this offense. On top of that, we have got to open up our offensive playbook. John Gruden has got to do a better job this week to open up the offensive playbook and not play conservative with the lead. If we get the lead in this game, we got to keep slinging balls down deep and drawing up some plays to get our receivers downfield for some huge plays and even score some points. We got receivers in Nelson Aguilar and Henry Ruggs that could make plays downfield, so why aren't we utilizing them downfield? If we want to win this game and prove to the league that we are still one of the top offenses in the NFL, we got to go out there and win in great fashion, and we got to drop some big plays and utilize all our weapons on offense. We are sitting at 7-5, 1 game out of the playoff race right now, and we know that the Ravens are knocking at the door. This game right here is a must win. If we get that W, then we're 1 step closer to making the playoffs. All right, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today on this pregame preview. What are your guys' thoughts to the game? Do you guys have any game score predictions? Drop it down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please smash that thumbs up button. And if this is the first time you're watching this video and you're a Raider fan, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this one. With all that being said, until the next video, this is your boy Some More Raider, and your boy is, yeah.
And you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.